now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
please fasten your seatbelts.
Welcome to Preneurcast.
Business cards being swapped, beers being drunk.
Can I say a nasty word? Can I say procrastination?
With Pete Williams and Dom Gocher.
How well did that go down?
We can talk about that entire thing in a very another rant and soapbox episode if we want to.
Visit us online at Preneurmedia.tv.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's special edition of Preneurcast with me, Dom Goucher, and him, Pete Williams.
Hey guys.
You might notice a little bit of a difference in the sound this week. That's because we're both in the same place. I know normally it sounds like we're both in the same place, but we really are this week. We're actually in Rich Schefren's offices in
sunny Florida.
Sunny, it is very sunny outside, sunny Florida. We're actually in the middle of a live stream, so this is going to be a slightly shorter episode, but still high value content for you folks. We're going to get right into it. And Pete, what are we going to talk about this week?
Well, I think the episode for today, which actually fits in with obviously the show and all the episodes we do every single week here on Preneurcast, everyone can get on Preneurmedia.tv. But we want to talk about this and talk about what would happen if SEO died. Because so many people, whether you're a small business owner or an internet marketer, and obviously, we'll talk out to the audience, the live stream viewers right now, are obviously in the business of generating traffic for their business. That should be one of the core focuses people do. It's marketing. We talk about this so often on the Preneurcast podcast. Is one of the real core focuses that business owners should have, whether it's a retail store or an online business, is getting traffic to that business. And a lot of traffic for a lot of businesses these days is web-based traffic, and traffic from Google.
Yep.
So people are spending all this time sort of doing backlinking and trying to get their websites ranked high in the Google search results.
Yeah.
Which is, it's important. Google gets a lot of traffic, and a lot of traffic to a lot of people's businesses comes from Google. But the issue is that obviously Google's making a lot of changes to their algorithms. People who are in that SEO game would be aware of, Panda and Penguin updates, which might sound weird for those of you listening to the podcast that don't know about SEO and stuff. But there's other ways to drive traffic to your site, and in my opinion, better ways. And I think SEO is changing, and even Google's search results page is changing quite a bit too. There's the universal search with maps coming up on the pages and videos and stuff like, which makes it much harder to get your website ranked on the first page of Google anyway. So playing that game is not necessarily the best use of your time as a business owner and as a marketer. So what would you do if SEO died, but also should you actually be thinking that it is already slowly dying right now and actually change your approach to generating traffic to your business?
Can I just add one extra level to this?
Of course, man, of course.
Okay, because for me, if you're only relying on SEO,
true. Yep.
If you're only relying on SEO, search engine optimization, and that ranking in the normal search results in Google, that's your only source of traffic, then, well, that's a dangerous position to be in anyway. Now with all these changes in Google, potentially it's even more dangerous.
Yep.
So really this is kind of it's a little bit of a cautionary tale anyway, regardless of whether somebody's worried about the death of SEO. I think it's still a cautionary tale for anybody who's relying solely on search engine traffic as where all the traffic for their business is coming from.
I think Jay Abraham first sort of, I'm sure I'm going to mess up this quote, and I'm sure it's not going to be quite right, but the message is there. And I remember him talking quite a bit about the issue you have with a one-legged table. And if you have a business and you only have one leg, and that's sort of one traffic generation, one path to market, you're in danger, because if that actually falls over, your business is completely gone.
Yeah.
And he talks about sort of having multiple legs to the table, actually doing different things. So not only online, but looking at offline. But if you're in that online space, Google and other ways to actually get traffic to your site than just one platform that could fall over and wipe you out in a moment.
Okay, so enough of the scaremongering. What can we do about this? What if SEO did die?
Well, I think there's the issue is that SEO is great for traffic because people are out there proactively searching and things like that. But there's so many other ways to get traffic to your business, and I really believe one of the best ways people should be looking at growing their business online is standing on the shoulders of giants. And we've kind of spoken about this term before on the show and things like that, about the importance to leverage other people's communities and get their endorsements. And this is something that I think is a great way that relates to obviously the show we're talking about, but also the viewers on the live stream, to sort of bring them back in as well. Is that standing on the shoulders of giants, other people have spent years of hard work, blood, sweat, tears and time to actually build a platform, build a community, get their site already ranked in Google. So why not actually stand on their shoulders and actually approach them and start doing guest posting, So rather than spending all this time trying to actually get your own blog post ranked in the search engine, which means you have to get your domain, have authority and trust with Google, and then your own little individual slice of blog post ranked, why don't go to a platform that already is ranking for your search terms in your niches, already has a domain authority, and offer a high quality, engaging piece of content, whether it's a video, maybe it's an audio, or obviously a written blog post that you can leverage off, that they can actually put on their site and have that site ranked or that article ranked much quicker, then drives traffic and awareness of yourself.
Okay, Pete Williams, friend to the stars, recent fireside chats with Robert Greene and many other luminaries, and friend to Rich Schefren, etc., etc.
Yep.
That's all well and good for you to say that. But what about the real world? What about you're talking about going to somebody who's possibly already an authority. They've already got ranking in Google. What's in it for them? How would you approach these people if you aren't Pete Williams?
Great question. Well, I think it's a number of things. Obviously, what's their objective? And this is something that Ed Dale talks about quite a bit is, understand their objective. What's in it for them.
Right.
Always back self-interest is a saying that he taught me, which I love because, look at that blogger, that website owner, what's in it for them, like their self-interest. You've got to support their self-interest.
Okay.
And for them, they want highly engaging content for their audience. So if you're actually creating good articles, good content that actually can go on their site, that helps add value to their community. It shows them in good light that they've got good connections with smart, intelligent people. So obviously it's good for them in that regard as well. It helps position them well.
Yep.
And obviously there's potential to do JVs and stuff like that off the back of that. You could obviously potentially sort of talk about doing an affiliate offer and things like that. But it's about adding good value to their community and to their list.
So, you possibly could say that in this case, and I think going forward from now, given the way that the world is working, content is kind of currency.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah? High quality content is currency. And if you have high quality content, especially if somebody is an authority, they're expected to produce content. They're expected to produce high quality content, and that becomes or can become a drain. Now, obviously, we're on a live stream right now talking about some really effective ways of leveraging your time and creating content.
But for a lot of people who don't understand these hacks and these workflows, you're absolutely right.
Going to them and offering them high value content, it's real currency.
Yeah. I think that's a great quote. Content is currency. I think it's a fantastic little quote.
I just made that up.
Well, you should put your name to it and copyright it. But that's the thing is that if SEO died, what would you do? Well, you'd have to go out and create content and leverage on other platforms because you can't get your platform, ranked in the search engine. So what would else you do? Podcasting. This is one of the things that we do here is because, there's other platforms out there that have hundreds and thousands of people actually, coming back to your site. There's people, not to your site, there's platforms out there like iTunes, for example, that have hundreds of thousands of people going every single day to.
Yeah.
Right? So why try and build up your own platform and get that platform ranked and have people coming to that platform when you can just stand on other platforms that exist, like our show. Yeah. We put that on iTunes and we get thousands of subscribers coming in and downloading the show purely because we're already on iTunes. We didn't do anything else. People are already going to iTunes looking for great content. So why not deliver that content on a silver platter in the form of a podcast like we do?
Which is, again, a great thing and just one of those, if somebody is worried, that I really can't approach these luminaries with my content. Let's look back at our history. We've said this a couple of times, but I think it's important. If you go back to the beginning of Preneurcast, which Preneurmedia.tv, slight plug, go back and look on Preneurmedia.tv. Look at all those episodes. You'll see the first. I don't know how many episodes did we have before we interviewed anybody?
Oh, I reckon it would be at least 30 or so, wouldn't it? I reckon 30, 35 weeks of shows.
And then I think it was possibly a friend of ours that we interviewed.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. So we started with people we knew and people who could add some value, and then obviously we just leveraged off that.
That's right. But what we did do is we went to a platform that, again, is already ranking, is already publishing and already popularizing content. iTunes, Apple's iTunes, every Apple device there is connected into the iTunes system. If people want entertainment, that's where they go first. They go directly to iTunes to see what's new, what podcasts they can have and be regularly updated with. And it's free. They make it free, they make it easy for you to submit, so why would you not put your content on there?
Well, this is like an analog example of this. That think about Nike as a brand. Whether you love them or you hate them, think about Nike. You know, what have they done when they started off their brand? They built the shoe, they built the content, which is the shoe,
right,
and then actually went to platforms and got distributed. They went to retail stores that already existed, that already had people walking into. They went to Walmart that had thousands of people walking into. They didn't actually go and start their business by creating their own, franchise of Nike stores.
That's right.
They did that after the fact, after they had brand awareness and sales and exposure. But with online marketing, so many people, what they do is actually start and try and build a brand, build a product like a Nike shoe, hypothetically, but then also build the Nike town around it, and then get people to come to the Nike town. It's like 3 steps of effort before actually even get any traffic or make any sales.
That is a really good example. I never really thought about it, but that's an excellent example. Yeah, just imagine if Nike had started out, gone to all the trouble of making those shoes, and then tried to create a store just to sell their shoes.
Yep. There's no leverage in that. There's no value, and this is the whole thing. Is people are what they're doing and what they've been taught to do is go off and start in the internet marketing space. Is start a blog, start your own little store, produce your products and things for your store, and then try and get traffic to that store. It's a huge amount of effort. Yeah. Whereas things like Amazon is great. Kindle is obviously huge. iTunes is doing this now with Apple's doing this with their Madcast. Ed Dale's got a great platform to create Madcasts in
on the newsstand
platform because there's people already going to Amazon every single day with their wallet and their purses open, credit card in hand, trying to buy something. So by producing content that actually goes there already, you're actually getting in front of these people straight away.
And then that's really the message here, I guess, is your first example, I think, probably scared a few people. I'll be honest, it would scare me.
Yep.
It would scare me. If I wasn't friend to Pete Williams, friend of the stars, it would scare me a lot because to go out there and just go straight up to an actual person and say, hey, here's some of my content, would you mind publishing it on your site?
Yep.
Is a bit, I don't know. I don't feel too comfortable doing that. Yep. And I don't think, a lot of people might feel that way. Other people might think it's great and off they go. But with these platforms that we're talking about, whether it's iTunes to publish a podcast or the Kindle platform or all the various
newsstand for your magazines,
newsstand for the magazines.
I think just to sort of can't cut you off there as I always do in most episodes, is that what most people are doing, especially with online marketing, is they're building their product and they're selling it in one place on their website and having all that effort. But if you can actually, rather than do that, just take your content and go straight to platforms where people already are, you're standing on the shoulder of giants. So you don't need SEO because what you're doing is you're just creating great content, highly valuable content, and going straight to the platform where people have their money ready to spend.
That's right. If you look around for opportunities like that, it really has never been so easy to get exposure.
Yep.
It's weird. People are focusing on search engine optimization and focusing on the Google search engine.
Yep.
But actually there are these platforms out there that are inviting you. They're worrying. They're paying millions of dollars of advertising. Amazon is a huge company that spends millions and millions of dollars on advertising and promoting. And so let them do that work. You get the easy part.
Yeah.
You create the content, and you can create content just like we do right now.
Yep.
We're having a conversation. We're recording it. Anybody can do this with any computer. And you can see, as we've done. This will be our 80th show.
Yep.
It's going to be on iTunes along with all the other 79.
Yep.
We don't do anything particularly complicated. We aren't paying any money to anybody to list it.
Yep.
iTunes are out there. And we're everywhere now.
Yeah.
We, through the course of the show, we've gone from nowhere to we were ranked #1 business.
Yeah, we've been ranked quite high. Yeah, just like giving good, valuable content every single week.
And that by them ranking you inside their platform, people, as you say, are on the platforms looking for new content, looking for high value content. They see you ranking, they'll click it.
Exactly.
They'll download you, you'll grow your audience. And we've done it. That's what we've done.
Yeah. I think, an analogy I've heard as well, which I think is quite a good one, and hopefully I can articulate it well, is that if you had a racehorse and you've raised a racehorse and using that racehorse to obviously make money because you're racing it and trying to make money, well, what's best? To actually spend time creating the race course, trying to find other people to come and watch and gamble on your horses, or just take that horse to other race courses that already exist, that already have all races organised, and just race the horse and then win the prize money.
That's a really good.
I think so many people what they're doing is trying to build the race course as well, which is just very, very hard. And look, there's huge profits in owning the race course later down the track. Like Amazon clearly make more money than the publishers do because they own the platform.
Yep.
But you can't start with that. I think you need to start with instant cash flow. And that's sort of a profit hack, which is a term we talk about on the show a bit and obviously relates to the live stream we're doing now, is that the profit hack is what is that fastest way to profit in your business?
Yeah.
And for so many people, what they're doing is not going that fastest path. They're doing the SEO. They're actually going out there, trying to start a website and a blog and blogging and trying to get away the traffic to eventually sell a product.
Yeah.
Why not just take that product straight to the platform and hack that time it takes to actually make the sale?
Okay, so what about flipping this completely on its head?
As we always do.
As we always do, I like to come out from both sides. And let's use another example from us, okay? Because when you got Ryan Holiday,
Yep.
Robert Greene,
Rich Roll,
Roll,
Tim Ferriss next week on the show.
Tim Ferriss next week coming on the show, all those people, when they come on the show, what's the benefit to us?
Oh, huge benefits. Great fun, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of fun talking to these great people. It's very cool for the ego and a lot of fun and good networking and stuff. That's obviously a byproduct. For us is a couple of things. It's great positioning for us in our show because it's obviously good to have high experts, but more importantly, with a lot of these experts, they tweet out to their followers that they've been on this show. They share on their Facebook page.
Yep.
They actually share it. So we're riding their wave as well. We're standing on their shoulders. So we get great guests on the show, which help position the show and make it engaging and all that sort of great stuff. But more importantly, what happens is that they go and share it.
Yeah.
And there's no SEO in that. They go and share that. And what happens is they're sharing on Twitter, on their blog, on things like that. So it's obviously getting exposure to their followers, their community, which we kind of obviously then, hopefully without engaging content, bring over to our community. But also what happens is, with those links they're creating backlinks to us, and SEO is happening as a byproduct.
Yeah.
So it's not actually going out there trying to drive the link actually coming as a byproduct of giving good core value and core content every week on a show like this.
And without prompting, there you go with one of your common and very, very powerful phrases, which is that SEO, as far as we're concerned, really should be a byproduct of quality content.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and this is just a couple of examples of that where, I mean, we've kind of gone full circle with the podcast, and I don't want to focus on, I don't want to say everybody should be podcasting, because a lot of people say, I don't want to podcast.
Which is fine.
Which is fine, there's lots of other ways to produce content. And on the live stream, we're going to show how we're actually going to repurpose even this content.
Yep.
Even though we've recorded it and its primary purpose is as a podcast, we're going to use this content, which is at the bottom of it, it's just a conversation between you and me.
Exactly.
Or it could have been an interview.
Yep,
We rang Adam just before the call. We rang Adam Kay from Strategic Profits just to have a chat on his mobile.
Yep.
And it could be any of these things just to create that content. And then there's so many different platforms out there, so many opportunities, whether it's someone in your niche or your market that can publish this content for you, or whether it's one of these platforms. It's so, as I said, so easy today. If you just stand back and look, instead of looking at these platforms and these people as either competition or as suppliers to you, which a lot of people do. A lot of people sit there and they go, oh great, I need something, I'm just going to go look on Amazon. But it doesn't occur to you that if you're going to go look on Amazon and it's in your mind, you didn't go on Google, you didn't put a search engine query in, you went, I'm going to go on Amazon, you go straight there. Well, if you're going to do that, what about your audience? Might they do that? Might they go looking for content? And if they might, well then it's about time you put something on Amazon. Yeah.
But this is sort of brings it all back to sort of the topic of today's podcast, which is what would you do if SEO died or if SEO was dead?
Right.
And the whole thing of that is that obviously, hopefully, people have seen through this episode, we sort of tie it up, and obviously it's a shorter episode than we normally do here on Preneurcast. Is that the bow on this and the thing people should think about is that hang on, SEO should be a byproduct of good marketing.
Yeah.
Go to the platforms that already exist. Leverage off other people's blogs and communities and forums and newsletters and their podcasts and be a guest on their shows to get you traffic. But more importantly, to hack that time to profit is to actually, well, hang on, when you create your products, don't worry about trying to build the actual platform yourself. Go firstly to other platforms, and the exposure you have on those platforms as a byproduct will obviously help you grow your own platform and your own internal community. But go where the profit is, and that is on platforms that already exist.
Yeah. So I guess, we like to wrap up with an action point.
Yep.
So for me, my action point will be looking for looking for somewhere out there that you can publish your content, which content is currency.
Yep.
I'm going to see if I can get that one in.
I like the quote.
Look for an opportunity to publish your content so that you either get more profit because you're just directly selling without having to create the platform yourself, or you're just going out and getting more exposure, more traffic, and association maybe with a bigger name than you.
Yep, beautiful. Well, that's it, guys. We've got a short podcast episode this week. As usual, thanks for listening to Preneurcast. All the show notes, the transcriptions, links, and past episodes are available at preneurmedia.tv.
Absolutely. Thanks, folks, for listening. Do leave us a comment on the iTunes store in your country. We love your comments and do take them on board, and we love to hear back from you.
Absolutely. And next week, for those listening to the show, next week I've got a chat with Tim Ferriss. We speak about his new upcoming book called The 4-Hour Chef, which is really cool. So I think we've spoken about this on the show before, that I'm not a cook, I'm not a food fan, but I have to say Tim's book surprised me quite a bit, and within 2 days of having it, I'd cooked 2 meals and really enjoyed a lot of sort of the meta-learning stuff he talked about in the show and the book. So keep your eye out for and your ear out for that episode of Preneurcast next week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look out for that book because I can actually burn water. See you next week, folks.
You've been enjoying another fine episode of Preneurcast with Pete Williams and Dom Gocher. Make sure to hang out with the boys online at preneurmedia.tv or drop them a line via Preneurcast@preneurgroup.com.